Alright guys, welcome back to another battle between Titans today on the road to Wololo qualifiers in the first August qualifiers, sorry. We've got Magic here on the English in the purple trunks. He's up against Artie in the green trunks. So we've got Abbasid, green trunks, English, purple, and Magic, a fearsome Age of Mythology player, one of the 3 M's. If you don't know what that means, you should probably look it up. These guys, essentially, the Age of Mythology equivalent to StarCraft Bonjwas. So, Magic, one of them, alongside Magyar and the Mister. And he's up against Artie, who is a fearsome Age of Empires 3 and 4 player, commentator, and other things. So we've got this down-to-earth true blue champion, even though he's not an Aussie, up against the main man. He gets all the roots. I have no idea how many roots he actually gets. But anyway, these champions here on Altai today, and it should be a hard and fast one. I mean, there's a lot of cliffs on this map, and it's not a particularly small map, but the rush distance between players is quite short. And while there is a safe-ish hunt, as in it's within villager range, it's actually on the front side, away from the wall, from both sides of players' bases. Artie's a little bit better choked off between the 2 wood lines here, but at the same time, if you tower that, it becomes near impossible to actually fucking gather anything. So it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. And he'll be hooking up his mining camp to his House of Wisdom there for the Golden Age benefit. I like his base layout. Magic for now. Actually, not bothering with the early mill opening for the English here. Looking to play something rush oriented. So the beauty of early mill openings on English is you really don't have to worry about gathering any sheep up. Because I mean, if you're playing one scout, it can be difficult to ensure that you're or even 2 scout on maps where you've got to sort of fuck around and run them around such passages. You know, it can be difficult to ensure that you've actually got the sheep count at home, that you need to keep all your villagers busy. And on top of that, man, English food eco is wicked. It almost competes with the Huntables in terms of the gather rates, because of their innate bonuses as they age up. From dropping off farmed food at mills, actually I don't think it's a drop off bonus, I think it's actually a gather rate bonus, sorry. It's even bigger. Now Magic harassing Artie's gold gatherers. He probably wants to slow down fresh foodstuffs and early second town centre base play from the opposite play, but the stone miners all the way at the back side of the base, it's going to be quite difficult to actually try and tower that up. So Artie should actually have almost a free passage to his second town centre. Considering he's gathering the wood at the back here, it'd be a bit dangerous to try and gather it from this front clump. Makes it a little bit slow for the English player to actually try and tower up here. A bit more walking distance. So bowman spam already. But Artie will be able to fight them with these scouts, and the scouts regenerate while the bowmen don't. In fact, he's deciding just to keep on scouting and make sure his opponent's not throwing down a barracks or a stables alongside it. Because if you've only gone for your own archers and they add man-at-arms or horsemen, and if you only go for your own horsemen and they add spears, it can be quite hard to hold off in this point. So Donati's actually going to go range and stables now before he bothers going for early stone. Even though he's got that fresh food stuff, so he's going to have half-price villages and really going to want to get second town center. Really rely on the cheap boom that he gets. Even now he just needs the units to initially defend. And Magic going to decide on towering. I haven't seen him actually pull any villagers forward to go for any towers. Magic looks to be going for a quick second town center of his own. Doesn't want to fall behind on the villager count. So the early archers, just really a bit of a pressure play. Donati going to go for a couple of units. And now he's going to go for his stone. At least he can keep fielding some more behind this as well. Well, it looks like there's actually not a lot in terms of food gathering and no spear. I mean, no archer production here for Magic. He's going for a very defensive second town center here. So it makes it very hard to actually pick it off, and he's not having to gather out on the map. And I mean, he's English, so really, until he runs out of wood, he can have a food wood army at home safely and never have to actually move out. He just hasn't actually transitioned into much of a food eco at the moment. Only fielding a handful of longbows. And they can use the palings to actually help fend off small numbers of horsemen. And Magic now is going to go more of a farm eco. By the time he gets all the farms finished, he should be able to throw down some more, keep the other villagers occupied. But Donati looks to be trying to take the engagement, limit that gold gathering, prevent him from getting either his first wood or food tech, which the English players really can help boom off, even though it's no cheaper than normal, unlike French. Because they tend to play such a huge food wood eco in Age 2, it's pretty advisable to get them because longbowmen a little bit more expensive than than normal archers, and any extra forces you might want to add behind that scale really well off it. And Donati also has gone for an extremely safe second town center. Players aren't looking to risk it for the biscuit today. It's a nice army for Donati, while Magic is trying to just go for the quick castle age by the looks of things. Looks like he's just getting the wood he needs for some more production facilities and a second mill, but otherwise try and play really boomy here. But Magic's denied a full wall off there. We've got a handful more longbowmen added in, just to make sure he can now snipe individual archers and actually threaten the horseman if he's fighting under his own towers. Looks like he's trying to really boom up here, but Donati is an insane food eco at the moment. So, I mean, he's only gathering on that other hunt, and he's got such cheap villager production. So he's going to add a Raxus and a blacksmith. Donati's going to have a nice mixed army. Age 2 here. In fact, he's possibly even going to squeeze in Castle Age, while Magic doesn't quite have as much of an eco. Because Donati's saving so much food now out of fresh foodstuffs. Well, English player still hasn't really reaped the benefit of his multi-mill eco. Magic perhaps even slightly overdoing it, because he's only got the one production facility at the moment, and he really needs to start slowing down Artie. He'll be getting Castle Age very soon, and his production, he's going to be able to afford spitting out so many units as well while having invested in such an expensive upgrade. I think Magic needs to do some damage here before he possibly gets overwhelmed. Artie adding in upgrades now from his blacksmith. Magic doing the same. Oh no, sorry. It's not Magic's UI. Magic adding a market so he can trade resources around as he sees fit, but it's probably because he's going to be relying on so much safe food income. He's looking to go for a Castle Age now. A little bit slower than Artie, but he needs to make sure he's got the wood to add the production. The goal for the unit's not just stacks of food here. He probably does need to add horticulture on top of this to really reap the benefit of the insane English food gathering out of the farms. As Abba said, they do also have great berry eco on top of their food. And Artie, Castle Age already, King's Palace coming from Magic. Artie going to be able to get preservation of knowledge and tape a shitload of eco techs on the cheap, armory techs on the cheap here on out. Idlers here for Artie, so get off your fucking smoke break and get back to work. I don't care if you've been at work all day. More production now being added for Magic. But I am a little bit worried that Artie's boom's going to translate into a push a little bit quicker here. He's got the quicker age up. Production's finished and he's added a little bit more of it. Magic going to look at going for relics behind this, but Artie's, it's a bit hard to get them. Don't know if he can actually get to that one. These two over the back here. Magic might be able to snatch up 2 relics in the meantime, and he's starting to wall himself in a little bit more as well. Does have that third town center advantage over Artie, but I think Artie's going to look at trying to mount a push very soon because he's got man-at-arms, he's got lances now, so access to his heavy units. The English player does the same, so he's going to be able to field some knights, go for crossbows to counter the man-at-arms, but I think it might be a little bit too late because Artie's really thought this timing through, I think. Already able to add a mangonel, so the beauty of Abbasid, their siege engineering tech doesn't give them access to rams. They've got that innately. They can build springalds, mangonels, and mangonels, sorry. I think they already get access to siege towers as a base as well. Everyone else gets access to those out of siege engineering. A nice raid here for Magic. How's he snuck this knight through here? Oh, this last war off's not quite finished. He's gonna be able to harass Artie off these food gatherers while this raid's going on, while this push is going on. So it's going to distract Artie a bit. Magic going to grab a relic as well, but there's 2 wolves on that monk, so he's going to have to send something to save it. He needs to, you know, get one of these knights over there to save it. Otherwise, he's going to invest in a second monk. Or send some of the villagers, sorry. So it's nice for Magic to pick off the mangonel there of Artie, but he'll be free to actually add more of them. Even though they are an expensive 600 resource unit, he doesn't have to waste time getting siege workshops for them. He does have that boon. Nice raid for... nice push for Don Artie. He's forcing a lot of villagers to garrison, but the knights actually snuck through Don Artie's wall here. So Magic using him to great effect to be as much of a pest as possible with him, because he's going to need everything to slow down Don Artie as much as possible at the moment. He's deep inside his base and picking off a lot of these stone gatherers, trying to get an early defensive keep here. Like I said, I think the English player probably needed to do damage before this point, because this timing from the Abbasid player has really caught him out and overwhelmed him. Even with the 3 TC Vil production, Magic 64 Vils to the 75 of Don Artie. He's still having to contend with the fact that there is that one knight being a pest in his base, so he's got lancers chasing it. But Don Artie really putting the pressure on his English opponent here. Can't quite siege the base fully with what he's got. The town centers will slowly be able to take all this down, but even still, the villagers that can't garrison have to spend all this time giving the units the run around and not gathering in while this is going on. And Don Artie is creeping further and further ahead here. He'll be able to look at snatching up the relics and the sacreds behind this, taking up more upgrades than Magic as well, who right now can really only afford a couple more knights, and he's got 45 villagers garrison, and GG. Don Artie takes the series.